right, guys, how we doing? Oh, let's see. So it's Monday, the 28th, and we're gonna. I guess we just finished up the polling here. You guys are interested in an update on Ethereum? So this is on Coinbase Pro. Just quick recap here with WXABC is what we're trying to. That's the current consensus count. There's multiple ways we can count this. I'm trying to simplify here. Yeah, I've considered some alternates here. The premise here is that this 5 is fairly clean off of the proposed B here. I got a 4-hour here, so if I zoom in here, so part of this is influenced by this. We get this. Yeah, it's pretty. God, shit! Did I double check? Let's double check here. So if this is the 1, and that's the 2. Yeah. So 3 is shorter than 1, but as I recall from the last time we did this, that 3 compared to 5, if that 4 is correctly identified, we'd be, here's 0. So we have no threat of, even if we break these lows, of 5 being longer than 3. So we have to allow for the extension in the 1. Right? So I better check that before I went too much further. Okay, right, so there we go. So this perfect 23 here, we get the algo target. We double bottom down here. Now we just have not had any kind of reaction down here that's significant. Now, of course, we did get the initial thrust here, so we're going to look at that in a second. So you got to look here and say, well, if we're going to break this low, we kind of run out of options as to what we could have here. So even, let's see, do I have any oscillators? I don't even have any oscillators here. So you'd have to. So this would have to be a corrective wave if we're going to go break this low. Yeah, let's go dig into that. It's not real clear as to what we've got. Now we still have the potential here that this is our good low. We have to allow for this double bottom down here. And I've been counting it as a 1 ABC. Now we did have a failed golden corner here. So, and I think I posted this up. Many of you guys would have seen this, but win or lose on these trades, part of the reason you like them, or I like them, let me say it that way, is if this was our corner here, is because the risk is so small. Right? So we can take that with the potential for it to get up there. Right? The caveat is always if that pivot holds, we maintain that 80% probability here. So whether you're drawing the pivot from up here, right at the B high, remember, as I will always tell you, algo doesn't care about an Elliott count. This gets you a little dip a toe right into the golden zone here if we use as an Elliottician would do it here. So if this is A, B, and we're using the 1 to the 2, we get the 618 to the tick. So you had the potential for a golden corner here. I took that trade. Again, took the stop here as well. So that's, if you can get that kind of risk reward, right? I don't hesitate on that. I take that trade every time. Now, so win lose, right? So the potential risk here was so small. All right, so I don't know why you wouldn't take that trade now. But if you didn't, so where are we over here? So you continue, you keep the draw going here. Right, so we can look here. It looks like we're into potentially what could be an area of prior resistance. I'm just using these pivots here. So we have a contender here. Now we also, if I move that here so you can see the 786 is down here. So we still have a contender for the 786. We pull that off. It's this one. We had the nice little trade. I mean, this all looked reasonable here. It's the symmetry. The 1 to the 5 would have been free. It's a very good setup, right? There's no reason not to take that, right? We know, right? We're not, nothing's going to be 100%, but that's a very tradable event. So I wouldn't shy away from those if you see them just because we took a stop here. Right? Next time, I promise you, I'll take that as well. So if we come down to a technical level here, we want a little bit more, just something more than just the 786 there. Well, we got a pivot here. Right? So I just showed you here. We've got this little range here. I just showing it to you in a different fashion here, but we've got this reasonable area here where we've had reactions here. So we get the support becomes the resistance potentially. Now it's always just that, the potential here. So if I could get just something else here, not just the 786. Well, we break into the count here. If we go down to an hourly, does that help us at all? So here, I'm going to take this off just for a second. So here was the contender for the 4. So we'd come 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E into the 4 would be right here. See, now this, you can see a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that looked like a strong contender here right into the golden zone, but we don't get it. So what's the alternate? Well, I guess suppose we could go 1, 2 here. 3 going in, 4, 5. Now we're getting, right? So if you start to think about that, it looks more like the 3 could pop here at the 7, 8, 6, 4, 5. Right? So you don't want to count on a double bottom. 887 will be down in this zone as well. But again, those are extremes. So if we look here, is there anything else to guide us? There's not, other than, well, you could have right, the fib swing relationships we could work with, length of the A to the B here. Well, here's the 100 responded, interestingly, for our potential third. We're just now, it looks like we've just now come a little bit shy of the 127. These are the two most common extension targets for a wave, for the C wave relative to the length of the A projected from the B, so that we're right in the zone where you'd be looking for action. But so the reason that this, I continue to think this is a triangle, is because it's hard to count this as anything other than a 5, right? So here I'm on so you get a little leading diagonal in here. Here it looks like, I know this is going to be hard to see. Let's see on a 15-minute, if I can get that. Can we do it that way? 1, 2, 3. It looks, well, maybe we can go ABC into that. Maybe that can work here. So there's a little dip here. So either you've got a failure. It's kind of a judgment call. But since it fits with the count better, I think we can go A, B, C. That's just a straight pump wick. Well, after that, let me go back to the 60-minute. So 1, 2, 3, A. You'd have to go A. Jesus, it's not great, is it? A, B, C. So we get, I don't see another way to count that, because we can't go A, B, C, D, E. Right? That doesn't work. Well, let's see. So we could go, it doesn't work because of the pivots down here. So you'd have to just do it as an A, B, C. So you'd have to go A, B, C. All right, to get this, well, let's see, we couldn't, no, it wouldn't work, right? It's just too strong. This thrust here is too high. So we'd have to go A, B, C into the 4 here. So we do get a triangle, but we don't get the DE. Well, what does that leave? So 1, 2, well, of course we can measure for that. So I'm gonna pull this off we'll put it back in a second here. So if that's correctly identified as a significant pivot before we come down into this final 5, well, we've done 100. So we have a contender down here for a 3. This likely going over here. If we're going to, so just again, same stuff every time, guys, right? So if we don't, there's not enough here movement off of this to really call that 3 as being in, but we come back here. So we're going to have natural structural resistance right here, right on these wicks. So we can just wick that off here. So if this is 1, 2, where 3 is, so fucking annoying. Sorry, guys. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 potentially. Right, that plays 4. We come down for the 5. This wouldn't be unreasonable. All right, so and we don't know that the 3 is in. So you just have to keep these here as potential pivot zones. So let's back it up here. Okay, so could we do it if we finish down here? Well, let's just grab the whole suite. We'll go to the wave 1 here. So here's the 786. Let me get the 887 on there. So we add the 887. It's there, right? So it's, it's not what you'd hope to see, right? So if you're thinking ABC, we want the 618 to hold, right? We want that golden corner pocket to hold. That's the trade that really you wait for. You get it, you take it, and you get stopped out. Well, that's trading, right? So, but at least the damage is really modest, right? So hopefully nobody, that's not kids' tuition money there. So then we take a slight stop here. I think really you just have to wait now, because that was the best setup. Now that that's broken, so right, this becomes a target, right? For shorts, we'll want to push because there'll be stops sitting underneath that. if we hold above it, I think it would be reasonable to look for that long side, but we don't have a buy side algo with us, right? So we need to get a move big enough to where we can take the first retrace and get an algo behind us. Otherwise, I think this, you got to wait here. There's just we don't have that good setup. So what do you have? You just have drifting lower. And Bitcoin likely dragging it lower with it. Right now, I just did a quick update on Bitcoin. And if you guys watched Quan's videos last night, right? If we make the assumption that we've just the path of least resistance, how about I say it that way, is lower, well, it's going to be hard for Ethereum to really bust out of here unless we get some movement from Bitcoin. So if there is another thrust up here to complete the triangle, if we're going to see that in Bitcoin, that likely pulls Ethereum with it. So there's a way that we can resolve down here. But now as we sit, unless this is all going to get relabeled, which I don't, I suppose we could be back here going A, B, C, and now we've gone into a 1, 2. But remember, zeros, we don't have that much room. We can't get a complete. Well, we probably could, but it would be an ugly motive wave. We're going to go down here. We sure would be pushing towards 0. If this is an A, B, C, and we're just putting in the 1, right? We're putting in the 1 down here at $100. Well, it's going to be hard to finish that 5 and stay above 0. So I think it's all right to stay here, but I would not be a buyer now, right? Now that we've broken this. I don't think you tee up here at the 786. It's just, again, for no other reason than we need a buy-side algo to give us the kick to get out of here. Otherwise, we just drift lower. So I'd be waiting. If we get some pivot, maybe Bitcoin starts to rock and it pulls Ethereum with it, we get something significant here, then the first retrace, yeah, I'm all over it. Right? I'm an Ethereum bull, so I would wait for that. Down here, I wouldn't try and buy the falling knife. Just no reason to. All right, guys, that's all I got for that.